Good evening, my dears. Welcome to my broadcast, and traditionally we will start from the sound check. If you hear me good, just write pluses in the chat. Hello, everyone who are coming on stream. Suffer this, connection lost, Borzet Wheel, MS, Charlie Manson, Try Daily, Olha, Dragas. Murray Duncan, Mark Garcia, aka Crowd74, South Coast View, Christine C, uh, Sammy V. You are welcome, my dears. I feel like a long time doesn't had a broadcast. I'm forgot how to do this, and I think that in a closest time I will really forgot about this. It will be very long pause because deployment, but yeah, if you hear me good and see me good, we can start our broadcast. So previous stream was more informational broadcast. It's looked like a lecture. It's looked like a, I don't know, class or something like this. This broadcast will be more about discussion and more about news and more about situation, what's going on now on east of Ukraine and most hottest spot. It's Pokrovsk direct. Yeah, it's separated direct now. City Pokrovsk and Dobropilla now have media really likes to yell that it's the critical situation, and it's, be honestly, it's close to critical. And during broadcast, we will discuss with you why. And Borzet will don't say hello, but send a smile and a PayPal. Thanks for your donation, Borzet will. So, my dears, question to you directly. Yes, I'm like that moment where I'm trying to make wake up for the chat. Wake up, my dears, and just write in a chat. Do you heard something about situation in Pokrovsk? Maybe in a big media, in a big news channel like BBC or something like this, in your country. If you are interested about situation in Ukraine from your regional media, maybe you heard something. Borzadwil, helicopters operation. Yeah, it's good. We can to discuss this case on our broadcast. That was Gur helicopter operation. Yeah, a very interesting case. Very mad and crazy operation. Wait a moment, my dears, wait a moment. 1 minute pause. I must open one source about Pokrovsk. Wait a moment, I'm so sorry. Sorry for the short pause. Yeah, I'm here. And so, what situation we have at this moment? Helicopter operation is boarded wheel. Christian C as big news. Mark hearing a lot of stuff. MS Ukrainian media. From United States news, nothing. Nothing. Charlie Manson doesn't watch TV. So yeah, and I understand why in your international media you heard nothing about Pokrovsk, because it's not your busy, be honestly. That's why your media shouldn't worry about this. But in Ukrainian media and in Russian too, now is the most popular topic. Now it's the point of interest. If you are, my dears, watching Brandon videos, I don't know where it was, we are discussing this topic about point of interest. When Brandon talking that he was in a Solidar, he fought in a Solidar, but here talking that it's Bakhmut, because Bakhmut can give a more donation, for example, more attention, and other, because Bakhmut it was a point of interest of the media, politicians, and other. Everybody know about Bakhmut, but nobody know about Solidar. I can't agree that now we have a same situation with the Pokrovsk, because Battle of Pokrovsk started 1 year ago, more than 1 year ago. And when all this shit only just start, people talked that Pokrovsk is the ones of the last big agglomeration in Donetsk region, that Pokrovsk is the road to Slavyansk and Kramatorsk agglomeration. In that moment when fight near Pokrovsk started, situation near Konstantinivka was a little more stable. Now situation near Konstantinivka are shitty, but yes, Pokrovsk, it was a strategical and important point for Ukraine. We can't say that is just a popular place of the interest media, because if Russia will have success in a Pokrovsk region in that direct, thanks for Pokrovsk, they can open 2 or 3 new directs. It's easier for start for make bigger Dnipro direct of offensive. They can easily start pushing Konstantinivka from that side, and they can start pushing Kramatorsk and after this Slavyansk. We don't mention about Drushkivka, because now Drushkivka under control of the enemy's UAV, under control of enemy's FPV, but Pokrovsk now is a real strategical point. And for Ukraine, for us, for me personally, we have very big interest to hold this and don't disengage from there, because if we are disengaged from there, now this is one direct, one point under control. Yeah, it's very difficult. All people who are a fight in Pokrovsk, they are in a fucking hell. All people, they have no rear in Pokrovsk. But if we move back, for us will be more difficult, because we'll open couple new direct, and we must use more capability, more forces for defending that territory and that direct. That's why now we have a strategical interest for holding Pokrovsk as long as more. But my dears, you are so that President Zelensky come in Pokrovsk. Maybe somebody saw the news, maybe pictures. Here visited a lot of the command point of different brigade who are defending of Pokrovsk. He give awards, medal. Our president often coming on the front line, be honestly, but in my personal history, on all direct where I was and all that direct where I doesn't was. When president coming, it's mean that is the shittiest situation in a world. Same was with the Severodonetsk. Severodonetsk fall 2 weeks after president visit. Same was in Bakhmut. Same was in Avdiivka, and I think that President Zelensky feel that some shit will come soon. That's why here I come to the Pokrovsk direct for I can say that for support. Yeah, for give a respect for our soldier, for increase his moral. I don't know yet, but president feel that situation in deep shit, and yeah, moral, for sure, right. And second thing why I feel that situation in deep shit. Wait a moment. Today only tea, no energy drink. Water was before. Today only tea. And second thing, when situation in deep shit, all soft unit going on that direct. Same was with Severodonetsk, when 3rd and 8th Regiment, when National Guards of GUR Legion, Security Service of Ukraine, all special operation forces unit from Ukraine come in Severodonetsk for resulting, but we lose this city after 1 week. Same was in Avdiivka, when in that time most strongest brigade, it was the 3rd Assault Brigade. When they was moved on that direct, they was moved for stabilization situation, and now what we see on the Pokrovsk is the very honorable operation on the helicopters, a lot of soft operators on the Pokrovsk. My unit are there, me will be there after a couple week, and what it mean? It's mean that we must go in a ass of Satan, in a shittest point of the Ukrainian front line, and all the time when Sov going for stabilization, it's mean the situation in deep shit. But my crew now there, they are doing reconnaissance from the Ricky drones, and every day I have a phone call with this guy. They don't happy that they are there, because every movement on operation typical time for the operation is 5 or 6 days. You must be on a position and doing reconnaissance. All that case when they go in a position and going back from the position, it's like a 50-50 chance to survive, because sky totally under control of the Russian UAV, under Russian FPV, Ricky drones, not Shaheds, I forgot how this name. Oh my god. Big Russian drone. It's not FPV. I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot this name. And yes, sky under control. Movement at night very dangerous. Movement at the day. Lancet, Murray Duncan. Lancet. Thanks so much. Movement at night and movement at day is the very dangerous. You must be lucky for survival on this road, because we can't say that region surrounded, because when you surround 10,000 army in that direct, it doesn't mean that they are surrounded, because they have own logistics, they have own capability for fight, and it's not surrounding. It's just a shit situation for defenders. And now guys in deep shit. And from what they say to me, that they are looking on the front line and they don't see infantry. It's no active assault on a outskirt of Pokrovsk. Russian soldier just looking for the time for the movement, just a half of hour per day. They going from the one forest to second forest, dig there and sit. They don't shoot, they don't attack our position, they just go way deeper, deeper and deeper. And now it's, if 2 years ago situation in Bakhmut, it was looked like Second World War and First World War. Big trenches, big trenches and long trenches, barbed wire. Now it's like a war between holes. One hole fight against other hole. And the biggest case, Russian soldiers who are do assault, but it's not assault. They just are moving forward and avoiding Ukrainian position and dig. They avoiding fight and just a walk. Our infantry have no opportunity to go and kill that guys, because as I told, sky under control of Russian. We do control sky is the I don't know who have a bigger influence are there now, because situation shitty for the both side. But Russia have one important resource. People. They don't give a fuck about his people. They can push on assault 100 soldiers per day, 200 soldiers per day. And if all that 200 soldiers will die, Russia don't care about this. They will send new 200 soldiers in that direct. In Ukraine, we don't have opportunity to use our soldiers like Russian. We must care that guys. And now, biggest part of our capabilities, it's for safety of our forces. So I will come back to the chat for some time. And yeah, before I will come to the chat, my dears, I must announce that now in description of the broadcast you can see a link. Is the link to the Google Documents, is that the Word file. And this Word file, it's report or reports about all stuff what we buying. Thanks for your donation. And if you, my dears, want to support my group, they are on Pokrovsk now, half of the group on Pokrovsk. You can do it by the PayPal or by the link on a Monobarn jar. All requisites you can see in the description of the broadcast or under my face on your screen. So yeah, I will go to the chat. Thanks, very big thanks, Sammy. You are a repeated link, my dears. So you can see a lot of fundraisers when people rising for the car, I don't know, for the something big, for the opticals thing. But when you will come on this document, you will be a little surprised. You will be a little surprised when you will see what we're buying. That's small things, but is the very, very important things for our sphere. You will be really surprised. So chat, my cap. That's gift from my mate from Alexandria. So, chat. Safedes Chasiv Yar is holding, yeah, and thanks for the Chasiv Yar and thanks for that unit who are holding Chasiv Yar. Situation in Konstantinivka more stability, because Chasiv Yar too very important. But you, my dears, must understand that Pokrovsk depends from Chasiv Yar, partially depends, and Chasiv Yar partially depends from Pokrovsk, because when Russian forces concentrated biggest capabilities and biggest forces on a Pokrovsk direct, it's mean that pushing on a other direct not so big and not so strong. That's why thanks for the defenders who are staying on a Chasiv Yar now. They are a control situation 50-50 stability. Sometimes we can see videos, Russian videos from Chasiv Yar, when one guy just running with the flag, show this flag from some street in Chasiv Yar on a Russian drone, and Russian reporting to Highcom that they are a control some street or some part of the city, but after a couple of minutes Russian soldier will die. Because honestly this part of the city under control of the Ukrainian armed forces, and is the very popular Russian things. They name it flag of tick. They're doing assault and they pushing only for showing flag on some territory and report about this case in Russian news and Russian media. And it's funny sometimes, because this is old, and this kind of operation, this type of operation, they are really useless, and it's have no strategical and tactical sense. It's just for the stupid Russian people who are watching TV. Look at this, our flag on some building in Chasiv Yar. Same in Pokrovsk, same in other directs, but yeah, shitty situation now in Pokrovsk. They don't running with the flag. They just slowly moving closer and closer. And in urban, I mean that in a city, directly in a city Pokrovsk, a lot of the Russian forces as extra small group, they can control just one house, but this house have influence on a road, on a way. They can do ambush on people who are going on a position. I mean about Ukrainian armed forces. They do an ambush on a KZWAG. They do an ambush on a logistics car, and is the very shitty situation for our forces. If they cut logistics, if they cut evacuation, our guys will have a very big problems. Charlie Manson is so that Ukraine hit a large weapon storage area in Donetsk. For the last half of year, my dears, you can see that Ukrainian armed forces use a lot of the middle strike and long strike missile. I mean that it's more than 100 kilometers missile, and they do it successfully. They don't targets of the Ukrainian armed forces. It's not kids' garden, school, hospitals, and the flats and houses. Targets of the Ukrainian armed forces is the Russian military targets. That's why they successfully destroying big storage. On a previous week, Ukraine attacked center Rubicon in Russia, and they do it very successfully. Our deep strikers and middle strikers, that guy who are launching all this shit on the Russian territories, they're really heroes, because Now we can see how working Russian economy without oil, for example, how working Russian electricity system if Ukrainian will damage Russian electricity system, and it's not our crime because Russian bombing our electricity system 3 years. And for me, it's very interesting to look and check news how Ukrainian deep strikers destroying Russia's critical infrastructure. Christine C. What is soft? Not soft, but SOF, Special Operation Forces, some special units. You think Rodinska can be okay for not give up Pokrovsk? Once of decay. It's once of decay. A lot of ways how to hold this, a lot of ways. But only Highcom know how to do this and how to do this more successfully. Only that guys who in infantry understanding case to give up or holding Pokrovsk. I'm sorry, for not give up. I'm not correctly read this, but yes. If I don't mistake, for today I will show a map. My dears, you see my face in map? And I forgot, I'm sorry, message on a blue chat. Donation from the Charlie Manson. Very big thanks for your donation, Charlie. For you, thanks to you and your team. Thanks so much, Charlie, for your support. It's very important for us. So, we're here. Pokrovsk. As we see that a situation in Pokrovsk, in Mirnograd and in Pokrovsk look like a cycle. Yeah, that's correct word, like a cycle. But you must understand that on this territory concentrated very big group of the forces. It's little bigger than 100 square kilometers. In this territory, very big group of the Ukrainian forces, and if you are surrounding 10,000 people, you are not surrounding these people. They can still fight, and it's still very big group. Be honestly, when you are watching on a deep state, it's useless to check it and useless to trust in this. I can try to describe why. Because this line, what you see, it's not a line. And Russian position located like a point, and point. It's not look like a line, trench line or something like this. That's why all the maps, Ukrainian, Russian, European, doesn't matter. All that maps, they in biggest part of cases showing wrong information. But we see that one line going in the center of Pokrovsk. It's that line what I told. Some group, extra small group, controlled some buildings, controlled some territories. They making ambushed for our logistics, for our medical evac, case evac. But it's not looked like a line in a real situation. If you see this stripe, just explain that in this stripe we have just a couple position, 3, 4, 5. This stripe under control can be under control of the enemy's platoon. or something like this, or unit less than platoon, and its distance 2 kilometers. Yeah, it's looked like an infiltration, and be honestly, it's really infiltration. Russian soldier going through the Ukrainian position, occupy positions there, and doing bullshit in our rear. And all these cases on all Pokrovsk direct. So when you're asking about Rodinske and Suvorove, from this side is the north side of Pokrovsk. We can see that Russian attack. Razin now under Russian control, but couple months before Razin was Ukrainian village, but by under our control. We can see that Russian pushing there, but in this region, more easy to hold forces who are attacked, because it's not a city, it's not an urban operation. Ukrainian pilots keep control over the Russian soldiers, and Rodinske is not a key for holding, but when Rodinske staying, when Ukrainian forces in Rodinske, from that side, Pokrovsk will be in safety. And thanks for the forces who are holding Rodinske in this direct, Pokrovsk not totally surrounded. But we can say that some village can be a key for not falling. Yeah. Because all depends from situation, all depends from concentrations of unit, Ukrainian unit or Russian forces unit. Because as I told, very big group of armies Russian use on a Pokrovsk direct. Pokrovsk is the priority for the Russia, because it can be one of the big success for the last year. They are, be honestly, they are slowly moving, they are pushing, they are attacking, and the Russian offensive never stopped. No 1 days without Russian offensive. But Pokrovsk, it will be one big success for the Putin, for Russia, for TV, from one side. And from second side, if they will control Pokrovsk, they will have opportunity to continue his offensive. And they can choose 3 directs. They can start 3 directs for offensive. That's why it's very important. So I again will back to the chat. Michael Gobi, would hundreds of ground drones with heavy machine guns make a difference? No. No, because ground drones, it's more about support, but not about direct assault or something like this. Ground drones, it's more about logistics for fire support, but we can't use ground drones for normal ground operation. It's very easy to destroy ground drones, be honestly. It's very easy, and by our statistic, for example, if you have some difficult position, long distance to this position, and you try to do logistics by the ground drones, you can use 3 or 4 ground drones for successfully finished logistics operation, because 3 from these 4 will be destroyed by the drones. Because ground drones are slowly, it's very good targets for the pilots, for Ukrainian and for Russian pilots too. That's why ground drones can't change situation. And don't forget about radio suppression. ground drones don't have so big influence. Renebooks fiber optics, 50 kilometers. Our drones can fly on a 30 kilometers in a Russian rear without fiber optic. No, in some view, when fiber optics drones start flying from Ukrainian side, from Russian side, media and people start yelling that fiber optic drones is the best drones in the world. You can suppress this drone, it's very effective, very big distance, very big pictures. But no, I don't agree with this. So many details with fiber optics. Pilot must have a very high skill in microcontrol. Pilots must know how pilots must know terrain where he flying, because it's very easy to damage fiber optics. If you are a damaged fiber optic, you will lose your drone. That's why not for all terrain, not for all directs, fiber optics will be effective. And for example, I checked one Ukrainian analyticals group, and they posted video when Russian soldier in a trench see how flying Ukrainian drones with the fiber optics, they start running for cut this fiber optic. That's why fiber optic is the not most effective drones. Try daily, no electronic, I'm sorry, no electronic warfare or other aggressive countermeasures. Why no? Electronic warfare on all part of the front line. In some parts, electronic warfare 24 hours per day. But it's still not still not a shield, you know. It's still not changing situation. And for some frequencies electronic warfare useless, for some frequencies electronic warfare useful, and you can't cover and suppress all frequencies and all channel of the enemy. And this rule work for the both side. Ukrainian use electronic warfare and Russian use electronic warfare. And funniest thing, when you don't have a normal communication and you don't have a good cooperation with the neighbor units, I mean that, for example, other guys from other units, from armed forces, and etc. And if you are flying, try to go through the front line on a Russian territory, I mean that Russian territory under Russian control, you can be suppressed by our own electronic warfare if you don't have enough communication. And same situation with Russian. Electronic warfare everywhere. Sometimes it's save us, sometimes it's make problem for us. Safadas, have not heard much of the peklo being used lately. Not peklo, but peklo. Peklo is translated like a hell, but wrong letter. It's peklo. It's word. It's letter key. Peklo. Emmy, Pasha, is Ukrainian man still being mobilized? For sure, mobilization continues. Mobilization must be continuous, and mobilization must be more aggressive, in my opinion, because very big percent of the men's avoiding military service. Very big percent of men's, and maybe you heard about funny case. Angelina Jolie come in Ukraine, and the driver of Angelina Jolie was mobilized on one of the Mykolaiev's checkpoints because driver of Angelina Jolie was something like ухилянт, that guy who are avoiding military service or he have a problems with his military documents or something like this. He is a ex-military, but he avoiding military service, and the private driver of the Angelina Jolie in Ukraine was mobilized on checkpoints. It's it's funny news for me personally, and we are laughing with the guys that Brad Pitt don't go in Ukraine because he's scared that he will be mobilized. That's why only Angelina Jolie coming in Ukraine. Train daily. Russia can't push hard in more than one place. They're running out of soldier or commanders. They can push hard. They can push hard, but they can do it in 2 or more places. But for the last 2 years, Russian choose tactics. They are concentrated in one place. And this concentration gives success for the Russia. If they will choose 3 or more directs, it's don't give enough results for Russian. That's why they're concentrating in one place. We can only turn in on our fantasy and start thinking why they pushing only in one place. Because they have limits with drone units. They still not have a separate branch. Ukrainian have. They have a big limitation with the MBT, with the artillery. I mean the howitzers, because big number of the Ukrainian howitzers was destroyed. A lot of artillery regiment was destroyed. That's why they have some limits and limited capabilities for the pushing and big number of directs. That's why they choosing one and pushing. And a message on a blue chat. It's donation from Andrzej. From South Coast View in the UK. Thanks so much for your support, Andrzej. I'm correctly write your name, Andrzej. I'm hope so, yes. I heard about the invaders now dressing as civilians. MS, very good comments. Yes, and I will try to describe why. Now, evacuation from Pokrovsk, it's something unreal. Ukraine have a lot of the organization, NGO, non-government organization, government organization, police units who are do extraction or evacuation of civilian people from the combat area. They long time worked in Pokrovsk when evacuation was possible. But now all civilians don't have opportunity to run away from Pokrovsk, to evacuate from Pokrovsk. It's too late. and Russian forces use it. They come in civilian houses, they wear civilian dress, they walking on the street like civilians, they watching our position like civilians. I think that when they make ambushes on the Ukrainian forces, they wear like a civilians and just a start attack. And yes, they use these tactics not firstly, be honestly, and tactic of infiltration, including this part of the war crimes. Yes, they are aware like civilians and doing bullshit on this territory. If they will wear in a Russian armed forces uniform, they they would be killed in a first contact with the Ukrainian armed forces. That's why, yeah, they wear civilian dress and walk in the street, and that's true, because they know that it's unreal for evacuating civilian people, and we can't control number of the civilian population there, because a lot of people sitting in basements, and the Ukrainian armed forces don't count and don't recognize how many civilians sitting in city at this moment, and Russian use this for sorry. Yale, sending love and support. Thanks, Yale. Chuck 12. It will be your short name. Is it snowing in these areas? No, in these areas no snow, because November it's too early for the snow. I think that after 2 or 3 weeks snow will be, but not yet. Mud there, dirt there, bad roads for the cars there. Rainy now because November, because autumn, but not snow. I think that cold weather. So, interest discussion about winter for the Russian offensive. As you saw, for the previous big operation of the Russia, it was Bakhmut and Avdiivka. In summer, in autumn, Russian tried to concentrate it around the cities, when the road give access to move normally, when the road and the weather give access to moving closer and closer to the big city. They concentrating forces in autumn and summer, and when winter is coming, they don't move, for example, they don't attack villages or something like this. They concentrated near big city and fighting in a city, because during winter, Ukrainian winter not so cold like a Russian. Normal temperature in Ukrainian winter it's minus 10 degree by Celsius. Previous winter, normal temperature it was plus 2 degree by Celsius, and what is mean? That road will be same shitty like in autumn. That's why they're concentrated near cities, near urban territories, and fight in the cities. They want to avoid the problem with logistics, for example. They want to avoid problem with the cars and other during offensive. That's why before winter they are concentrating near city and pushing the cities by infantry. Same was in Avdiivka and same was in Bakhmut. I'm sorry. And yeah, Charlie, you're right, mud season, but the Ukrainian mud season is the 6 months. Ground will be soft till April. It's maybe 8 months. But no, 6. From last days of October till April. March will still keep mood, or mud, how correctly. To quote Brendan, a Ukrainian soldier who joined on his own free will is currently, I would class at the highest, I'm sorry, I would class as the highest form of humanity on the planet Earth. I think that Brendan right here, because in 2025, in nowadays, number of volunteers very small. And that's why I'm told that mobilization must be more aggressive, because big percent of the men, they don't understand that from their depending future of our country and depending future of his kids. A lot of people had the opportunity to prepare to the military service. A lot of organization making trainings, free trainings, professional trainings, combat medicine, shooting, and other. They have a 3 years, they avoiding service, and now when situation on the Ukrainian fronts, shittiest situation for the 3 years of war, civilian people avoiding mobilization and yelling that we are don't ready to war, we are don't have enough training or something like this. But what they do 3 years from 2022, that's why yes, I have a very big respect to the volunteers who are joined to the army on his own free, be honestly, and my group, my personal group, don't have no one mobilized soldiers. My guys, it's only volunteers guys who are choosing army, who are choosing war, and who want to fight. Because I don't want to looking for motivation. I don't want to describe for people for what we fight. I must to know that my people understand for what they do this, and that's why Brandon right here and is the very good quote. So Russia lost Il-76 in Sudan. It's a normal, typical story for Russian air forces. They are in a deep shit because no Western parts for Russian jets. That's why they lose a lot of the jets from many reason. And technical reason is too very big part of the losing of Russian aviation. And MC donation on the PayPal. It's Amy. Very big thanks for your support, Amy. Who are a newbie on a broadcast, who are come later, my dears, you can check description of the broadcast and you will see a link. This is link on a Google Documents. If you will go on these documents, you can see all reports about that stuff, what we're buying for our group, for your support and for your donation, my dears. Thanks so much for supporting us. Your support's very important for me and my group, because who don't know, half of group now working on a Pokrovsk direct, and other half, and I will lead this part of group soon to will join for our guys on Pokrovsk. And I'm back to the chat. Michael Gowdy. As Ukraine has a limited supply of the glide bombs, how about upscaling Firepoint 2 drones with a 105 kilo warhead and using them on a front line? What would you suggest as the most important munition? At this moment, Ukraine growing. I don't know how this correctly describe. For the last year, Ukraine made a lot of the new types of the missiles, middle strike missiles, deep strike missiles. But we are using this for the critical and strategic infrastructure of the and important military targets of the Russian armed forces. These missiles is expensive. And Ukraine have a very limited budget for this. That's why we can't waste this money for destroying only one blindage, for example, as Russians do this. They have unlimited number of the glide bombs, uncontrolled bombs, and other. We don't have this opportunity. That's why we must accuracy choosing target and hit them as painfully as it possible. For tactical targets, for frontline, it's enough to use bombers, for example. It's octocopters and hectocopters. They took 10 kilograms of trottil landmine. When I was on Kupiansk Direct 1 week ago, we used 40 kilograms of trottil bomb and just a dropping on his position. It's more cheapest, but biggest problem in this that we don't have doctrinal of this don't have a doctrinal type of this ammunition. All of this self-made on the storages, on the labs of Ukrainian armed forces, and sometimes we don't have detonation, we waste this ammunition and other. But we have a way for cheap destroying of the Russian position. Is the very good way. But using big bombs and using big missiles for the trench, for the position and other, it's very big money. As you know, Ukraine have a big hole, is the black hole in Ukrainian budget. They don't know what to do with army in the next year in 2026. That's why we must choose as cheapest munition as it possible. That's why alternative for gliding bomb it still be expensive. Trine Daily, Urgely would be in Kherson. Hope she gets more word about the human safaris Russians are doing. If I don't mistake, yeah, I don't mistake, Angelina Jolie is the second time in Ukraine. And I don't sure that she will talk about this because she are talking more about humanitarian things like kids, homeless, doggy, kitty, and other. Superstars, big people, and a lot of the big organization, they are avoiding these sensitive topics about war, about Russian war crimes, you know. I know a lot of the organization who are wasting your money, my dears, your money, because it's American and British organization. They are coming in Ukraine sitting 100 kilometers from the front and reporting. People in Ukraine suffering. Humanitarian situation are critical. Children suffering. And that's all. In big part of report, they don't reporting that they are suffering because Russian destroying Ukrainian electricity infrastructure. They don't reporting that in Kherson they are using FPV for killing pedestrians, for killing just the people who are walking on the street. They don't reporting that the reason of this suffering is the Russian war crimes against civilians. They just said, yeah, situation are really bad. Give for us money, for salary, for people who are chilling in expensive hotel in Kiev, and it's true. And I don't have a hate speech against Angelina Jolie because Brad Pitt don't go here, but Angelina are here, and if she will give support for kids, for civilian, it's okay. But I don't wait loud words from she about Russian war crimes and about human safari or something like this. This speech will be about kids, about cats, about grandmas, and about grandpas. But big stars, they avoiding these topics about Russian war crimes. Maybe they waiting for the concert in Russia after war. I don't know, but a lot of the silence about this. South Coast View pronounce it exactly like in Polish because I have a Polish experience. I was in Poland. I'm little understand the Polish language, and I had a Polish friend. That's why saying so much for this, Andrzej. Charlie Manson, mood season, mood is hard to defend in, but it's even harder to attack through. That's why they're concentrating near cities, because in city it's more easy to offend when mod and other. That's why I told it's the typical tactic. They are flowing, moving. In summer, in autumn, but they concentrated around the cities and attacking cities at the winter, because they are really understanding that Russian offensive, it's not one city per 1 week, it's not 500 kilometers per 1 week, it's not Kyiv for 3 days. They understand this. That's why I use these tactics, and it's very successful tactics, because you can see result of these tactics in Avdiivka and in Bakhmut, for example. Bonjour, Persian defenders. Bonjour, Elenkishka. Trying daily. Russia seems to be running out of heavy vehicle. The mod might make less difference. Yeah, number of the heavy vehicle very limited. Logistics don't doing by the heavy vehicle. More often Russian use civilian vehicle on the front line, and yes, mod will make a very big trouble for the civilian vehicle. That's why yes, it's true. Season have very big influence. For example, when weather will be more shitty, rainy, snowy, fog and other, sky will be limited. I mean that during fog, drone can't fly. During big rain, drone can fly. During big snow, drone can fly. And Russian use this. They use weather, and we are use weather. We will see. We will see how it will be in the future. In the closest future, just after a couple weeks. 5 or 6 weeks, weather must be changed. MS, if Ukrainians join willingly, surely they are more motivated and committed in a brigade. For sure, because but problem is that number of the volunteer are really small, and now volunteers in biggest cases is just our new generation. 1 year ago that guy was 17 years old. He's growing, he's 18 and he going like a volunteer. But that people who are elder than 25 years old, they avoided service 3 years ago, 2 and now, and will avoid this. And if on his territory will come Russians, what do you know what they will do? They don't go for doing diversions, they don't go for making rebels group, partisans. They will say, okay, you are welcome. That's why they don't care about this. For him is not a problem. That Russian will come, rape his son, daughter, his wife, took his car and daughter. They don't care about this. Barking in background. You need to check out what they are upset about. It's typical. It's typical situation. Big group of the homeless dogs just walking near my house. Yes, every day. It's not a problem, and sometimes ducks are there. It is not a problem. Chandela, Ukrainian budget just has to outlast Russia budget. It will be difficult. It will be difficult because at this moment, Ukrainian budget from on a big person consists from the Western support. I don't know what will be in the future. I don't know what's. That's why it will be very difficult. And Russia have biggest capability for keep his budget and for keep his economy. Because we are start destroying Russian factories only 1 year ago. Russia do this since 2022. That's why Ukrainian economy in a big shit, and Russia economy have bigger chance against Ukrainian. Charlie Manson, this organization are barely worth their own name. They pay the bosses huge sums and expense as well as hotels, best gear and vehicles so far in the rear. They know that they are safe. Be honestly, when in Ukraine was peaceful time, I watching on this organization in Africa. It's the same organization, and for example, that organization what I hate by all my soul is the Civic. Civilian in War is the British organization. Total bastards is the real bastards. They they just waste money driving good car. I never saw bad Civic car. It's only Toyota Land Cruisers, fresh Land Cruisers. 2021, 2022. It's not a cheap car. It's expensive car, not less than $60,000. It's armored car, extra $20,000. They never come more closer than 60 kilometers to front line. From the Kiev to the Russian border, something like 140. In a Kiev, we have a nightlife, nightclubs are working, people walking, and always good. And these guys sitting 60 kilometers from the front line, they never saw humanitarian situation. on the villages near front line. They can't come on a border. For example, in Chernihiv, yesterday I was there. Villages in Chernihiv looks really shitty. It's 30-40 kilometers to front line. But this organization never come there. That village's safety, because not group of the Russian armed forces are there, no artillery shielding or something like this. It's safety, but by his instructions, they can't come in this village because it's not safety. For sure, they will sit in the big cities, living in a hotel, walking in Ukraine, have a dinner in good restaurants because they have a good salaries. And best thing here, it's okay for the 40, for the Brit who are coming in Ukraine, he worried about himself. A lot of the Ukrainian bastards joined to this organization, took high salary. Fucking driver in a Civic have bigger salary than Ukrainian guy who are doing assault on a Pokrovsk. Because salary are there not less than 5 grand, than 5,000. And that's why I hate this organization. They do nothing, they are a seat, watch, making stupid report for his organization. This organization going to your government, took your money and waste. Is the cycle. That's why I hate this. Again, hate speech. I'm sorry, my dears. AP has reported on the safari now and then, but other United States media no. I don't know what is AP. What is AP, Trondele? And I'm sorry, I missed a message on a blue chat. It's donation from the Ellison Pound. Very big thanks for your support, my dear. Very big thanks, Ellison. And your donation is very important for me and my team. And I will again repeat this. If you want to see what's we're buying for this, just a check, a link under my face, my dears. Very big thanks, Ellison. So for this, thermal cam works in fog. Cam is work, no problem, but drone don't fly. For example, FPV drones will die in a fog, because fog it's water. Drones like a Mavic, they have a chance to survive 5 or 7 minutes in a fog, and thermal camera will work, but after 5-7 minutes this drone will die. Thermal camera on the ground will work in a fog, but with some problems, because don't forget, my dears, what is fog? Fog, it's water. I wonder if the lawyer who ran the border in his Toyota after receiving his draft papers, there is a shame lasts for a lifetime. One day they'll find the question. Be honestly, I don't know if our society, Ukrainian society, will be enough strong after war, because now they don't enough strong. For give a more shame for that people who are do nothing during war, it will be good. I will be proud of myself for sure that I don't run away or something like this. But that people who are run away and who are avoiding, they just are living his best life now. He sit in a Poland, in a Germany, doesn't matter. He will yelling on the whole world that look at this, I'm donating or something like this. I don't leave my country, I worried about soldiers, blah 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 blah. But he just run away. And that people who did this, they don't understand that they just run away. They will looking for argue why they do this. They will say that no, I will be I'm sorry. They will tell that they are important there and important for Ukraine there, from Poland, for example. But I think that they will never understand what they did. And if he will come back in Ukraine after a couple years, 5, 7, doesn't matter. I think that people will forget about this. Because only small percent of the war I'm sorry, I'm just a small percent of the people really worried about war. Small percent. What did you do in the fight against Russia, Dad? And later, Granddad, and nothing. I ran away and left it to other. After a couple generation, maybe it will work when, during kids conversation. For example, when I was young, 9 May is the Soviet Day of the Victory. We are talking memories of our grandpas and other, what they did on a war, and I saw red faces of that guy who don't have a grandpa veterans. For example, I don't have this problem. My grandpa, he was a reconnaissance soldier in the Soviet army. He fought in Leningrad. He was 900 days in blockade of Leningrad, and I'm proud of this. And for me, it wasn't a problem. But that kids who have a grandpa who learns, they felt a small shame. I hope that my grandson will not have a shame. Michael Glowley, with 360 radars, 52 tanks, IFVs using AE connected to Bushmaster cannon and successfully tested in Spain to counter drones. This could be a major breakthrough and maybe lead to large military maneuvers again. What do you think? It have sense. AI system for AI targeting systems, anti-drone systems. It's very good things for both technologies, for drones and for anti-drones. And if these technologies will be work enough good, we must use it in a modern war. And it's very good that some countries do testing of this and developing this, and I think it's the future. It can be a very good things, for example, for the Ukrainian air defense who are fighting against Shaheds, what's flying on the civilian cities when I'm sleeping. And yeah, is the good things. I think that we must test it in Ukraine on air defense at first. Bless you, thanks. На здравие. It was Croatian, Geoffrey. It was Croatian. Michael Russa, can we make a drone to cut the fiber line? Yes, we can use all types what you want for the cut fiber line. All types. And if you are an infantry and you are a ground and you are see how flying FPV drones, you can just took this fiber optics, push on himself, and you will stop these drones. If you cut this, you will stop these drones. If FPV drone will see fiber optic drones going in direct of the fiber optic, he will cut by the props this fiber optics, and fiber optics drones will fall because power of the props on a FPV drone can cut your fingers. If it's big drone, 10 inches for example, it's not big, it's medium, 10 inches, this prop can cut 5 finger in a line. For sure you can destroy fiber optic. It's very easy, but it's difficult to see these fiber optics because it's the small line. Murray Duncan, is it hard or easy to actually see the fiber optic cable? From the FPV drones on a radio, it's difficult because pictures are shitty. Quality of the pictures, it's something like, you can see it, just choose 144p on a YouTube on my video, and my face will be consist from the blocks. Same pilot see in his Googles on or his monitor, and it's difficult to see fiber optic. But if you are looking, if you for example flying on another drone and you are flying against enemies drones, for sure you will understand where is this cable, and it will be easy to cut. But if you randomly see this, it will be difficult. Charlie Manson, on the NGO topic, I met a female fundraiser for an NGO around 1998 at a fundraising event in Belgium. She was telling of the heroic work they did in Sarajevo during war, showing slides of them giving out food, water and clothes. I called her out afterwards as I was out there, and our team had to do protection for their one trip outside the airport where they handed out those clothes. So we are talking not about personality, be honestly, is a good case. We are talking about conception of the NGO in general. And all that what I see in Ukraine, I not one time mentioned NGO, I'm not one time mentioned United Nations, not less than 5 times I mentioned this. United Nations Food Program, World Kitchen and other civic, civilian in a war NGO. I mentioned this organization a lot of times with the new cases, and yeah, we have a good person, we have that NGO who are coming in the shittiest place, evacuated people, give a help for people, nutrition and other, but biggest person is a bastard. I hope images will agree with me. Geoffrey, how are your pilot skills and engineering skills coming along? Improving. I'm thanks for God I don't fly on a simulator on a laptop. We very often have our practice flying. I'm flying, but I must improve my management skills, team leading skills, but engineering and pilot skills is something like optional. I'm improving this part only for understanding what my people will do and how they do this for be more close to the team. Because if I'm as a commander don't understand how it's working, I will be a bad team leader, I think. That's why I'm improving, but I still, as I told, my skill must be team leading and management. And there is the donation on a super chat is the Miriam. Very big thanks, Miriam. I think that I'm see super chat donation third on this channel in my life. Very big thanks, Miriam. It's it's in my reality it looks like a very big surprise to see this message. I watch YouTube on 144 mostly anyway, mostly because I just listen. Yeah, but if you listen, it's like, but quality of sound will be more shittiest. But if you will see picture 144, it will be not same what you see on a 720p, for example. And if your drone are digital drone, for example, with the DJI system or something like this, pictures will be better and better. But on a radio, it's unreal to see something. And anyway, when you're looking for the target, for the tank, for the howitzer, for the men who are running, it's too difficult to see, and you must have a skills to authorize this target and understanding what is this. I saw that very high skill pilot, he destroyed antennas, is just a small stick covered by trash, by shit, by common net, and he sold this small stick. It's very very high skill pilot. Here I easily identify his target, but if you don't have this skill, it will be more difficult. I talk about big targets, but if we are talking about cable, fiber optic cable, it's unreal for low skilled pilot. You must understand the worker team to be a good leader. If you don't understand the problems, your expectation can be too high. So that's what's what I told. I must understand all the process, how it work, how types, what's useful, what's useless for do normal command and control. If I don't understand this, I don't have my fucking staff who will give me recommendation. It's only me and my team. That's why I must be on a not less than on a one level. But be honestly, it will be better if my level will be higher. But we do what we do. I thanks for God that my guys don't know about that shitty paperwork and bureaucracy bullshit, because I'm like a wall between bureaucracy and my guys. It's too my task. But it's less than on a previous position, be honestly. I'm don't crying that I'm doing a lot of paper bullshit. Agree, never give to big organization. All funding goes to administrators. Supporting guys like you direct best way. Yeah, we are talking about this all the time, be honestly, because that organization with a big budget, you never will see a real report. You never will see financial report. They have a lot of the useless position who just are sitting on a salary, but this salary consists from your taxes and from your direct support. If you are donating to a Brandon, for example, you see that he buy a neck of flow. Brandon don't paying salary for the 100 guys who are sitting in Norway and packing this. Yeah, about organization. It's good to know which NGOs you personally have seen do good work. Yeah, we have a lot of cases of this. But good cases is the small NGO. If we're talking about, I can give a name, a corporational NGO. It's more about media, it's more about reports, but not about result. Small NGO with the volunteers, yeah, they sometimes showing something incredible for us. But big corporation, they are too fat for do something useful. Miriam, YouTube wouldn't let me add a message. Fuck Russia and fuck little man Putin. No limitation on a bad words on this channel. I'm using bad words. You can use bad words. Is the hate zona, is the bad word zona, and no limitation zona. If I will block it because I make a hate or something like this, we will make the new hate channel, and we still will continue our wave of hate. Always best to have a manager who worked their way up, know the problems on the ground, listen to the people under their care and guidance. It's the best way. It's like a career ladder. And yes, and I'm agree with these things, train daily, because best manager in a corporation, all big and successful owners of corporation, I don't mean that corporation who had a rich father, but that people who are growing from nothing to big company. That guy was started from the beginning, from the shittiest level, from the lowest level, from the level of worker, of the observer, and they know how that work. That's why is the I think the best manager for that collectives, for that teams, because he know how they work. You are know what these people needs. You are know how this work hard or how this work easy, and you can really rate it this work, because if you don't know how this work, people. I'm sorry. Wait a moment. People will deceive you, and you will lose control, and you will have a problem or something like this. That's why, yeah, everybody must start from beginning. A good boss is a good shit deflector. Yeah, agree with this too. Okay, my dears. I thought that it will be more shorter stream, but 1 hour and a half is the good result. Tomorrow I'm going on a service, but not on a service as usually. I'm traveling this week on Ukraine. Tomorrow I will go in Cherkasy, wake up after 6 hours. Thanks for your attention, my dears. Thanks for good conversation and for the good chat. It was a really good conversation today, very good activity. And my dears, thanks for your joining to this chat, that you are watching my channel, my streams, that you are active here, and very big thanks for the people who are supporting us. Your support is the very important for me and for my team. All reports you can see in oh my god, by the link under my face in the description of these streams. Thanks for your attention, thanks for your support, thanks for your activity, my dears. See ya later.